Okay, so let's go ahead and get started about the AWS. So what do you know about AWS actually? So, or before we move on, probably you might have heard about the cloud and all, right? So I'm not going to take you in depth about the what is cloud and why we have to use cloud and all. So cloud is the one where you're going to have your entire infrastructure together and you're going to connect to that one. So wherever you want, you can go ahead and connect to that one. So that is how the cloud is going to work. So why we have to go with AWS? We have a different clouds who is offering the clouds from Microsoft, Azure, and also some different things are there in the market. But why we have to go with the AWS, and what is the purpose of having the cloud first of all? I mean, even if it is a AWS, Azure, or anything available in the market, why we have to go with cloud actually? So as you know, basically if you take the simple example, I mean, people who are not aware about the cloud and or web services that people are providing in the internet. So if you take the simple example here, if you're trying to run one market actually, okay, if you are trying to run probably ABC business actually, so for your ABC business actually, you have to maintain where, you have to maintain the server in order to people, if you, whenever the clients or customers are trying to access this one, so obviously you have to maintain one servers. So server is something which is going to stay somewhere else, probably at one location. So whenever clients are trying to access from here, obviously the data will be fetched from this server actually. Okay, so now server is something like, it is like you have to set up your own machine there. Machine, its server itself is a machine actually. So you have to set up your own thing here in order to access the data out of your server. So for example, probably your market is really okay, probably between probably in the first quarter. Okay, in the first quarter your business is okay, and you are okay to maintain probably two servers for your business in order to pull the data. You are okay to maintain the two servers. But in Q2 you are getting really very huge number of customers, I mean like your traffic like anything. Then obviously in order to accommodate this traffic, obviously you have to increase the number of servers actually, because you are going to see the probably the performance issue here. So that is the reason you are going to increase your servers like anything. But after Q2 you are going to see very less number of people actually, so you don't need this many servers actually. Again, you have to take out, I mean you don't need, you maybe you are okay to go with the single server. So as you know here, as per your demand, you have to start building your infrastructure actually. Okay, whenever you want, or probably whenever you want, it is not something like that whenever I want I can just go ahead and add, whenever I don't want I can just keep that one aside. But however, you have to spend lot of money, your organization has to spend lot of money for just for one quarter. Okay, rest of the 3 quarters your organization is not going to use. In that case, obviously you have to spend a lot of money in terms of infrastructure, in terms of the resources, in terms of the money also that you are going to spend on top of this one. So in order to address this one only, and one more thing, whenever you are going to build this infrastructure actually, you have to have the admin resources in order to build this one. You have to go and you have to buy your all hardwares, and you have to make sure that they are connected within the network, and you have to make sure that they are always up and running. And if something is going down, you have to make sure some resources will be, should be always available in order to just to maintain your infrastructure. Okay, so you have to think about this much to maintain your infrastructure in order to maintain your business. Then think about, you are spending a lot of efforts to maintain the infrastructure, then how about doing the business with the customers? How you are going to concentrate your business that you are doing with the customers? Obviously you have to share your efforts toward the infrastructure. So that is one thing. Or some other thing, like probably there is a disaster, okay, something happened, there is a flooded happened in these areas wherever you are maintaining your server, so everything is gone. Then how you are going to maintain the backup? Obviously you have to maintain the same replica somewhere else in the different location. If something is happening here, we are going to use these servers. This is going to be the disaster recovery or business continuity plan. We are going to talk about this one. So this business continuity plan also, you have to maintain your own, with your own administration, with your own expenditure actually. So as you know, we are just predicting that something is going to happen. That is the reason you have to maintain this one. right? So you have to maintain the resources in order to maintain your these all these servers. This is one example actually. So and also it is not easy to maintain this one. You have to maintain the resources like we said. If something is going down, or if there is any power outage, or something is, if there is any flooded happen or something, there is a network issue in between, so you have to maintain all these things with your own risk actually. So think about like you're putting this much of efforts to maintain your infrastructure, then how about when your business guys has to think about the actual business when they have to take forward that business. So in order to address this one, in order to easy to use your softwares, which means in this case, whenever I wanted to go ahead and use on demand, whenever I wanted to use more servers in the Q2, after that I don't want to go ahead and use them. So in that case, people they are there in the market where they are going to provide the servers as you pay as you use, which means whenever you require you will go ahead and ask them, whenever you don't require you are going to release them. You are not going to, you are going to say that I'm not going to use any more this server. So in this case, you don't have to pay which you are not using. In this case, you have to, you are paying a lot of money for these kind of things. You are overspending on your hardwares even though you are not going to use them in future. To avoid that one, this cloud came into the picture. Okay, what is that means here is people are going to maintain some servers at some locations, different locations actually. So what you are going to do, you are going to approach them saying that okay, as per my requirement, these many servers, these many machines I needed to maintain my data here. So obviously they are going to give those many servers to you, okay, machines to you. So when you don't require it, you are going to tell them like okay, I don't require now, so you can take them off. Out of these 6 machines, you are saying that I need only 2 machines, I don't require, I don't need any more 4 more machines anymore. So in that case, you have to pay only 2 machines, you don't have to pay any more remaining 4 machines. So it's really like you're not spending over on your hardwares, like as you required, or whatever you want, you are going to just spend on top of that one to these people. So rest of them, if you don't require these 4 machines, they are not going to allocate for you, they are going to allocate for the other people, they can go ahead and use this one. Okay, that is one thing why you have to go with cloud. Okay, and other thing is easy to use. Okay, when I say easy to use is something which is like you don't have to go and you don't have to spend a lot of resources, or you don't have to do lot of research in order to find out your hardware, in order to find out like which machines are going to work for you, whether they are going to work okay for you. If not, you have to change in future the configuration and all. You have to spend a lot of time on that one, so it's not easy to build up this one. So that is the reason when you just approach these people, these cloud people, which is like kind of AWS, Azure and all, you can just go ahead and contact them, and they are going to just give the ready-made kind of thing for you. Okay, and also the flexible. Okay, flexible is nothing but whenever you want, you can go ahead and ask them. Whenever you don't require to use them, just go ahead and release them. Okay, and also we have seen very thoroughly, you don't have to spend a lot of money here. So it's very really, I mean, and also here you can see the security wise, you have to make sure, I mean, since you are going to maintain your data at the centralized location here, any malicious things can happen. Anyone can go ahead and access your data, okay, if you are not very sure about your security wise. So in order to address all these things, easy to use and also the flexible and also the cost effectiveness and also the security related wise, these are the features that your cloud is going to provide to you. Whenever you want, you can just go ahead and approach these people and you can use these people. This is the overview, or at a glance, why we have to go with cloud, why not with your own infrastructure. Okay, and also the we have discussed about the scalability. This is called scalability, right? Scalability is nothing but whenever you want, you can just go ahead and use more machines. Whenever you don't want, you can just release them. Okay, that is what the advantage that you are going to get out of your cloud actually. So we have many things in our market. So one of those, the one of the leader in the cloud marketing here is your AWS, Amazon Web Services. Okay, it's almost more than I think they found in 2006 or around 2000, I think in around 16-17 years back they found this one. They are still leader in the market actually. It is very easy to use, it's very flexible, it's very cost effectiveness. It means like you have to pay very minimal amount in order to use your servers here actually. So in terms of cost wise, in terms of security wise, in terms of flexible wise, you are going to get a lot of benefits out of the AWS actually. So here we are going to build our, even though you are going to use the commodity hardware, even though you are going to use your own infrastructure here, when you are going to build your Hadoop on top of your AWS, which means you are going to use these systems as a Hadoop cluster systems, you don't have to spend too much of money. Whenever you want, you can just scale your this thing. So what we are going to do exactly, we are going to get the machines from AWS, and we are going to keep on adding. Whenever you want, just you are going to add the more machines. Whenever you don't want, you are just going to cut them. That's all. Okay. As you go on, as per your demand, you can go ahead and ask them to create the machines, or ask them to allocate the machines for you. Okay, let's go ahead and see how we can go ahead and do that one. Initially, I'm going to discuss with you today how to create the instances, which means it's kind of your there is already machine is there for you and it's already running. So you are all you are doing, you are going to making sure that you are going to get that machine for you, which means you are going to request that machine to allocate for you. That's what we are going to do today, and tomorrow I'm going to teach you how to put them all together and all. So to do, in order to access your Amazon Web Services AWS, just go ahead and open www.aws.amazon.com. okay, this is purely from your Amazon only. So now, so just open that, and one URL, one landing page will be open. It's not a Amazon homepage, it's going to be the AWS, Amazon Web Services web services, and you're going to see lot many products are available in this one. I'm not going to take you all the way here. We are not here to discuss, we are not here to learn about the AWS. We are here to learn how we are going to install the Hadoop cluster, how we are going to set up the Hadoop cluster using your AWS. So we are going to see very thoroughly Amazon EC2, which means Amazon Elastic Computer Cloud actually. Okay, EC2. Okay, there are many systems are available, many services are available in the this AWS. We are not going to see this all these things. As we go on, we are going to see touch base here and there, what is AWS and what is S3 and all. I'm going to cover here and there whenever we go and build our cluster. Let me go ahead and sign in this one. So whenever you just click on sign in, it will be ask you to enter your uh, information, personal information. Along with that, it will be ask you to enter your credit card information. Okay, so AWS is a paid services actually. You will not be getting any free services for your business actually, but whereas for you, for your personal purpose, they are going to give the 12 months free service actually. And again, some of the within the 12 months free tier also, some of the services that you are going to use based on your usage, you will be charged. So you should be very careful before you are going to use your services. If you're something you have started your instance or keep on running in the cloud and you are not using them, means you will be charged. There will be minimal, but it will not be even though it's not less for you. Okay, it will be charged something 500 rupees, 600 rupees in a day, something like that. Okay, should be very careful while you are using any services that we are going to. If you know that service that is a free of cost, then go ahead and use that one. If you're not sure about that, try to Google it, then only use that one. Okay, so now I'm already this one. If you are new to this one, just to go ahead and use that. I'm a new customer here, and you're going to you will be asked to enter your personal information along with your credit card information. So you're going to use the free 12 months tier actually. You're going to get around to 750 hours actually, which means you are the number of hours that you are going to run your servers are going to be the 750 hours. Okay, or which is going to be like one year. So whichever is reaching first, after that you will be charged. So you should be very careful, and you have to put the note saying that okay, if the 12 months is crossed, you will be charged the minimum amount. You will be charged for your to just maintain your account also. So you have to take care of all these things. Okay, so I'm the existing customer, and next just when you click on that one, you will be asked to give your address, then you will be asked to give your email ID and confirmation of your password and all. After that, it will ask you to give your billing address. So you'll be charged initially as per your country that you are selecting. You will be charged 2 rupees if it is India, and if it is Singapore, means you will be charged around some in Singapore currency. Then after that, they are going to refund that one. That is only to make sure that you are the genuine customer. That's all. Okay, so I'm not going to take you that to entire page. It's very simple, it's very user friendly. So I've already created that one, and just to go ahead and see that I'm a existing customer, and let me go ahead and give the password for that. Okay, so like I said, there are many products available out of this one. So we are going to use EC2, Elastic Computer Cloud. Okay, so here you will be seeing like running instance. Instance means you're connected, or you are already started one instance and you're running there. That's what is called instance actually. Okay, so how many instances that you want, you can go ahead and run in the free tier actually. So I'm going to tell you how to launch them, but most of the time you have to see like your running instances are zero. If you are seeing anything 1 2 means you are already, your instances are running, which means your server is ready to connect to that machine actually. Okay, your server is ready to do your activity that you are assigning to that one. So instance is nothing but one computer actually, one machine actually. So I'm not going to use, I mean, I've already created some of the instances. So you can see here, if I'm clicking on running instances, okay, which I have already used from the previous batches, and which I've already used here some of the other purposes. You can see all these things, but you don't have to worry all those things. Let me go ahead and rename that one, probably BK. I'm going to teach you how to do that one. BK, BK, BK. Okay, so what is our goal here is, we are going to have three machines. Okay, I'm going to have three machines. First machine is going to act as a name node and secondary name node and resource manager. Okay, and also two machines I'm going to place it as a one data node, second data node. That is our goal actually. This is how we are going to build our cluster. If you want, you can go ahead and create more instances also, but try to play with the two instances first, and if you are successful with that, try to increase the number of instances. Okay, so that is the plan. So now let me go ahead and take you back to here. Okay, if you go into that EC2, also you can go ahead and launch your instances there. Also we could have launched, but I would like to take you from the beginning. You can see here launch instance, which means like it will take you to the launch instances actually. So just go ahead and click here. Okay, it will take you to the next page. Like here you can see here left side, you can see my AMIs and AWS market and community AMIs, and also here the free tier. So if you click on this one, it will be only the free services will be shown here. Okay, but here you should see some warning here. Can you see now here? It says that please note that you may still be charged for the use of some AWS product unless your infrastructure and service charges remain within the free usage tier. Okay, you should be very careful. So now we have already seen about on the CentOS. Now I'm not going to launch on the CentOS. We are going to see on the Ubuntu. Ubuntu is a one more frequently used your Linux operating system, using which you can run your Hadoop also. So now I'm going to use Ubuntu only. You can see Red Hat. Red Hat is also the free services, but you're not going to get most of the free services here. So let me go ahead and use the Ubuntu server. So I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to select this one. So be careful here. I'm going to select this one. Okay, so here you can see here this is a free tier. You can see it is highlighted as a free. If you are selecting some other things here, you will be charged here. So you should be very careful. Okay, so now I'm going to just click on, just read this one. Next, configure an instance details, which means like I'm not going to just review and launch. Okay, don't click on this one. Even though it is highlighted, don't click on this one. Click on this. If you are going just to review and launch, all default values will be taken with for one instance and it will be launched. Okay, don't do that one. Okay, now I'm going to just click on configure instant details. So here you can see the number of instances. So I'm going to give directly 3 here, which means one master node, one data node, and one more data node actually. So the rest of them are like keep as a default. I'm not going to go through all these things. This is related to your security related things, some of the cost related things and all. So don't worry all these things. You can keep all these things as a default one. You don't have to worry all these things. Okay, so the next thing, let's go ahead and add the storage. Okay, number of instances, which means I'm going to ask them to put 3 instances now. Okay, so now here you can see here the volume type is root, which means the root is the user for this one, and this is a device and this is a snapshot. Don't worry all these things, and each instance that you are going to get as a GB size, the storage is going to be the 8 GB. Don't increase this one. If you are increasing, you will be charged again. And it is going to be the general purpose side. It is going to be the SSD, which is good actually. You can still you're going to see some speed and all here. If you want, you can go ahead and add more volume and all. Don't do that one, it will be charged again. Okay, so whatever you see the default, try to go with the default one only. Just go ahead and add the tags here. So here, what is the purpose of having the tags here is, however, whenever you are going to publish anything, you will be adding some tags, right? Based on that tags only your video or your file will be searched. The same thing, based on this tags only, when you have 1000 2000 instances, you should know which instance is running for what, right? You cannot just like that, you cannot just go ahead and remember each and everything. Which instances is running for what? In order to do that one, you're going to just add tag, and key is going to be the anything, whatever you want you can enter, and the value is going to be the whatever you want you can enter. This is only about kind of description about your instances, that all. In at a glance, if you want to identify which instance is working for what, you can just go ahead and add tags here. Okay, you can give anything, whatever name that you want you can give, and whatever value that you want you can give. Okay, based on that, if you're typing master, means master node will, all master nodes will be coming in the list, and you can go ahead and select which instance that we wanted to see. I'm not going to add any tags here, just look at, go ahead and add the security group. So as you know, here we are going to tell to my instance like to what, who and all can connect to my computer actually. So you have to set up the security related things. So anyone can connect to this one, only you alone can connect to this machine, or only within the cluster whoever is having, they can go ahead and connect these people, or anyone who is just having the IP address, they can go ahead and connect to this one. Okay, these are the security related things using which you can go ahead and add this one. So you can see your type of your connection is going to be the, mostly you're going to use the SSH, but if you are going to use the HTTP, LD, PI, these are the mostly like we are going to use for the web services. Just generally we are going to use the SSH, and you can see the TCP as your protocol. Okay, and the port range is going to be the 22 always. And okay, so here you can see source is going to be, if you are going to select any custom, it will be asked to enter the IP addresses. If you are going to say anywhere, it will be like anyone who is having your this IP address, you can go ahead and access this machine. And if you are saying selecting only my IP, which means from your host or from wherever you are connecting those, from wherever you are trying to create these instances, from there only you can access this one. Okay, I'm not going to select that one, I'm going to select as a anywhere. If you see here, it is going to automatically populated here. Okay, so now instead of going and creating your new group, you can go ahead and name your group here. Security group means probably you can name here whatever, ABC or banana, whatever it is. But next time when you're going to create one more instance, you don't have to go through and make sure this all security related things. Simply you can just go ahead and select the existing security group. So as you know here, these my security groups that I have created earlier for my batches actually. So you can see here security group, and it's going to be the what and the description of this one. So you can name whatever you want. Here you can see whatever you select here, this is a description, this is your security group, and what is the meaning of that one. So now let me go ahead and select open to all, which means like I have selected all traffic. Whoever is having the URL, they can go ahead and collect this one. The protocol is going to be the all, the range is going to be the all, and it can connect to the anywhere. So people who are having this IP address, they can go ahead and connect to this one. This not really is going to happen in the prod environment, but generally since we are going to test this one, you can go ahead and select the existing one. Okay, almost this and this going to have the same thing. You can select either this one or this one, either one. Okay, okay, just I'm going to select review and launch here. Okay, so review and launch is nothing but it's going to take you to the what and all you have selected, what is your security related things, what is your volume, and how much your storage is there out of your each and everything. If you want to edit your security related things, you can do that one. So far we are good. Okay, now let's go ahead and launch. Click on launch here. So here it will be asked you to generate the security key actually. So what is this mean here is, whenever you wanted to connect to this one, probably you might have seen in my multi-node cluster installation and single node cluster installation, we have generated one keygen. What is the purpose of having the keygen there? You are going to generate one key and you are going to add to the authorization keys, and you are going to handshake with the different machine, so that in future whenever you wanted to reconnect again to that machine, you are going to connect them without any password actually. That is the whole purpose of having your key. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, you are. Now I'm able to hear you.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so now this is the security key using which you can connect to these instances. You should be very careful. You have to save this key in order to connect to these machines actually. So you can go ahead and choose the existing key pair and you can go ahead and create the new one. So generally when you are going to select the existing one, it will be appended to that one. Better you can go always with the new. Create new key pair. Okay, so whenever you are going to generate here, you will be asked to enter whatever name that you want to identify your key pair. You can just go ahead and enter this one. Like I said, this is the pair that consists whenever you wanted to connect to these instances actually. Okay, so now I'm going to have as a batch 19 AWS and 07 20. Okay, let's go ahead and have. So you have to download this one. You can see you have to download this private key, which means .pem file, before you continue. Okay, store in a secure and accessible location, which means this is the one which will be used again to connect this servers actually. If you are missing this one, there is no way we can connect this one. So this is very important. This private key is very important thing actually. So now let me go ahead and download this one. Okay, and you have to keep very in a secure place. It's there in the downloads page actually. So but you have to keep in a secured place and you should not lose this one. If you are losing this one, there is no way we can connect this one. Then after that, go ahead and launch instances. Okay, successfully we launched 3 instances actually. They should be running now. Okay, these are the details for them. Let's go ahead and see the, just click on EC2. Okay, and still they are not starting. Let's go ahead and see that instances that we are starting now. Still they are starting up. Okay, you see that they are initializing now. As of now, they are not. They have not started actually. And one more thing before I forget here. So you have to select, when you are setting up your AWS, it will be asked you to select the this main center location, data center location actually. So why this we have to select here is, whichever is nearest to you, you have to select that one. Then only your instances will be allocated or selected out of the data center. Okay, if you are selecting, if you are in a Singapore or we are trying to select in the America, which is not good actually. You have very near data center where it will be easy for you and you are going to see much performance if you are selecting from the Singapore. If you are selecting from the United States or India, that is obviously you are going to see less. I mean, it will take some time. Actually, the data has to be transferred. In order to communicate your servers, it will take some time, right? Obviously. So that's how. Just select this nearest data center for you, whichever from wherever you are trying to run this one. So the instant status, you can see they are running. This instant ID, instant type is going to be the T2.micro, which is your free service, and availability of your zone is going to be the southeast, whatever zone name that you have given. The instant status is running, and you can see other instances have stopped, and you can see the status checks. It is going to be after some time it's going to be say that it is status, and as of now still it is initializing, which means it is still running. It's rebooting up there. Okay, we have connected to one instance, which means one machine, and they are starting up there. Okay, this public DNS, which is very important thing, and also your public IP address, which is very important thing, and also you are going to see your key. The key that you are having for this one is this one, the key name. In future, if you want to know that with what key you are trying to connect this one, this is how you are going to identify them. and also the monitoring. Something is more related to your admin side. Whenever you want to monitor your Hadoop cluster, you can go ahead and monitor them. Okay, so it's currently it is disabled. Okay, so I did not set anything. The security group is going to be the whatever you have selected there. This is a security group. If you want, you can go ahead and click here, and you can change for your each instance whatever security, the security group that you wanted to assign. Okay, so right now they're starting up, and still they are initializing. Okay, so now let's go ahead and name our these things. Okay, I'm going to name this one as a name node, or yeah, name node. Let's go ahead and have name node. You can give any name here. It does not matter actually. So you can give as a data node, just to identify these things. Okay, I mean data node 1. Let's go ahead and give as a data node 1, data node 2. Okay, so now two checks I've checked out of this one, they are okay. Okay, so now you can see here, whenever you select your instance, there is some here in launch instance means it will take you back to the this thing, and connect means it is going to take you to the how to connect to this instance. Don't use these two options. This is the action that you can just click on this drop down box. You can see the different options here. So here instant state, okay, whether you want to stop it, it's currently it's running, that is the reason it is enabled. Stop, reboot, which means it is going to reboot your machine, terminate, which is nothing but it is going to, like, it's going to release your instance. So whenever you release this instance, whenever you terminate this instance, whatever data that you have stored, you are going to lose it. You cannot recover that, because once you terminate this instance, this is freed up and that will be allocated for other guy. Okay, so you should be very careful before you terminate this one. Okay, so currently they are running, that is the reason you can see the stop is disabled, and the start is disabled and stop is enabled. So you can see for other this one. Okay, and you can see action here, instance, you can start here, you can terminate or you can start, either one you can do that one. Okay, so now that is the based on your what action that you wanted to perform on your this thing, you can go ahead and select this one. So they are already running, I'm not going to do anything. So the next thing, let's go ahead and jump into, so far we just created the instances. Okay, now I'm going to make sure these all machines are talking each other. That's what the activity that we are going to do in next 20 minutes. Any questions so far? Okay, so now let's go ahead and follow my document. I have created one good document here actually. So let's go ahead and follow that document. First and foremost thing, in order to just to make sure that their machines are talking each other, we have to start the instances, copy all public DNS names and place in a notepad. Okay, that's what I told here. What I mean by that one here is, as you know, each instance will be having the one public DNS, public IP, and private DNS, private IP also. So we need public DNS. I'm going to put it in the notepad. Should be very important thing. Okay, don't get confused with this one. So now I'm going to put it for the name node. First, I'm going to check for the name node, and I have put here, and the public IP. The first one is going to the public IP, and the next I'm going to get the private IP. Okay, private IP within your cluster you can access. Public IP is whenever you wanted to access outside of this one. But we said like you said like anywhere we can go ahead and access. That is the reason we are going to use the private IP here. So that's all we needed. Let's go ahead and select from the second one, public DNS. So as of now, public DNS is kind of your host name here. Okay, and public IP. Very careful, and private IP. If you are missing one digit here, we are not going to be successful here actually. So that's what you should be very careful while copying, while selecting your which data node is yours. Okay, and I think before that I could have done my this thing actually. I could have shown you how to do this one. Okay, this is going to be your public, private. Okay, the public is going to be this one. Actually, one thing that you have to notice before I forget here, whenever you reboot these instances, right, your public DNS as well as your private IP, public IP is a dynamic IPs actually. You are going to, as we see in your virtual machines, they will keep on changing that one. Okay, so your once you reboot your instances, or once you stop and start it, you are going to see that you are going to see the different DNS names, private IP and public IP and all. So in order to keep your these things normal, or which means in order to, you don't want to go ahead and see your random IPs or dynamic IPs, for that we have to use the concept called elastic IPs actually. Elastic IPs are the one which we'll be using to see, like, to we are going to create one permanent IP address, and we are going to assign that permanent IP address to the instance actually. But before you use this one, if you have created one IP here, which elastic IP means, you are just creating one IP and you are going to assign that IP to the instance actually. So for example, you have assigned, this is the free service actually, elastic IP is the free service, but you have created the elastic IP, but you had assigned to the instance, that is good, they are running now. But you stopped your instance. End of the day, you don't want to use, or probably 1 or 2 hours you used your instance, that you don't want to run them because you wanted to save the number of hours so that you can use this free period for longer time. So in this case, you have created the elastic IP address there, but you are not using that one. For that, you will be charged a minimal amount, probably every day 10 rupees, 15 rupees in INR. I'm talking about 10 rupees you will be charged for each IP address. So if you are okay to pay for 30, means 30 rupees every day for 3-4 days, that is okay. But if you think like, no, I cannot pay, why I need to pay that much, that amount, then you have to release your elastic IP address whenever you have created and attached to the instance, but that instance is running. As long as you are running that instance, you don't have to pay anything for this one. That is mainly to make sure that unnecessarily don't instead of I mean, people are coming and creating the elastic IPs, probably it seems unnecessarily, they don't want to waste their resources. That is the reason they have put this minimal charge actually. Okay, let's go ahead and create the new address for this one. Just click on new address, allocate, and these are new address that you have created, and let's go ahead and close it. Okay, so here, if you see here, this is the address, this is the IP address that I have assigned. Let me go ahead and right click here, and you can see release address, which means you are deleting this one, you are releasing for other guy. Okay, associate address means it's going to ask you to select to what instance that you want to select. Okay, you can select, this is what the instances that we have created, right? So let me go ahead and select for the name node. These are all our previous one, don't worry about these things. Let's go ahead and select the new one. Okay, this is the instance that you have created, and the IP address whatever you have, you can go ahead and create this one. Okay, and it says allow the elastic IP to be reassociated if you're already attached, which means probably this one already been attached for other instance. So if you are selecting this one, it's just a reassociation, which means that will be for that machine previously wherever you attach, that will be released, and this to this one it will be attached. Okay, then they're going to associate. That's all. So you're going to see throughout your execution, or throughout, even though you're rebooting your machine, you're not going to see your DNS got changed, your public IPs got changed, your private IPs also will not be changed. Okay, let me go ahead and create new address, allocate. Okay, this got we created, and you can see this is not instance, you can see it's not allocated to anything. So let me go ahead and allocate this one. Just right click, associate, and data node 1, right? Data node 1 which is running already, so I'm going to associate that one. The is going to be this one, and I'm going to associate. Okay, that's all. Let's go ahead and create one more, allocate new associate new address. Okay, so we created this one, and this is going to be the last one. Just right click here, associate address, and data node 2. Okay, just associate. So now successfully we are able to create the static IPs for our machines. So now let me take you back to the instances. Okay, you can see here these 3 machines are running. If you take here, okay, this is your public IP address. Let me take one more time, one more round. I think this is going to be the same thing. Okay, can you see now it got changed actually. Okay, okay, public IP and public IP address. Okay, this is the static one. Okay, and your private IP address, which is very important thing. Okay, private IP address is same, and let's go ahead and select the data node one. Okay, and public IP address and private IP address. Okay, and the next thing is data node 2. Okay, so this is your DNS, public DNS, and your these names actually. So this is perfect. Let me go ahead and just continue with my documentation. So now you can go ahead and edit your host names, and you can have your desired name actually. Whatever name that you wanted to have, you can go ahead and have in the host names, and the same thing you have to edit in your etc. Okay, so that's what you have to do. I'm going to do that one at end. So now let's go ahead and use the how to connect to these machines using Pootie actually. So actually whatever we created using that PM key, that will not be understandable by your Putty actually. Putty cannot understand that .pem file. It can be understandable only for your, that is a private actually. That is a private key actually. So you have to convert that private key into the your Putty readable format. Then only your Putty is going to understand, so that we can connect to this instance. So in order to generate your this thing, you have to download your Putigen actually. Putigen is a software using which you can select the some so and so keys, and it is going to generate its own understandable certificate actually, key actually. So let's go ahead and select this one. It is a freeware. Just go ahead and download the Putigen. Okay, Putigen, just type that, you are going to see that. Let's go ahead and select file, load your private key. Like I said, whatever keys that you have, it's not only for AWS, it can use for any other purpose also. So now let me go ahead and select my key here, what I've generated here. This is my PM key, right? So I'm just selecting this one. Okay, you can see successfully imported the foreign key with this one. So just click OK. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to save this key actually. That's what I put very clearly here. So download this one and save the private key. You have to click on here, save your private key. Okay, are you sure, do you want to save this one? The answer is yes. And you're going to save this one. Probably select the same name whatever you have here. Okay, this should end with ppk. Okay, ppk is your Putty readable format. PM is your instance readable format. Your Amazon only can read that one. Amazon instance only can read that one. .ppk is only readable by your Putty or any third party tools actually. Okay, now let me just go ahead and close this one. We are done with this one. We just created the .ppk, which is your private key, which is understandable by your this thing. I mean, let me go ahead and connect through Putty. It's very simple. Just go ahead and see here. You are going to give your Ubuntu username, Ubuntu @ and your public IP here, whatever the public DNS name. So I'm going to connect to my, this one is going to be the 22, and the name that I'm going to have here is name node. Okay, and here we have to authenticate that whatever we just created that ppk. Okay, so just go ahead and click on SSH authenticate here, and go ahead and browse that .ppk file here. So whatever we just created, right, just to try to select this one and check on OK. Now go back to the session and save this one. If you're not save this one, when you are going to come next time, you're not going to see that one. So name node has created. Now let's go ahead and open this one. So now it is always, it will be asked to whether you want to connect this one first time. So say yes, and you are able to successfully connect to our instance actually. You can give ls, ll, and you can see all these files whatever you wanted to. You can go ahead and create the directories. You can go ahead and do whatever you want. This is a machine actually. You can go ahead and, since indirectly we have connected to the machine, that whatever instance that you are running in the Amazon Web Services, we are connected to that one. The same thing, let's go ahead and do for the next thing. Okay, I'm going to connect to my duplicate session, or not duplicate, new session, and I'm going to have the same thing, data node. one. I'm sorry, here, not here, here. Okay, Ubuntu at the rate your data node 1 public DNS. Okay, and you're going to again select your authorization key here, and I'm going to select to the first one. Don't select this one. If you're trying to select this one, it cannot be connected. Okay, so that is very important thing. Okay, now go ahead and click on save, and there node 2 has started, and open, and you're connected to the second instance. The same way, let's go ahead and do the third one. New Ubuntu. Ubuntu is the user ID for your Ubuntu servers. Okay, if don't give any other thing, HD user is not going to work here. So if you want, you can go ahead and create one more user here, but we are not doing that one here. If you want, you can go ahead and create that one. I'm going to teach you how to do that one also, how to add the user to your group actually. So now I'm going to give data node to any name, whatever name that you want. Go ahead and select your authorization, browse, and this thing, save, did not to open. Okay, so now we connected to this one. So now three machines are ready now. So this is the first machine, this is your second machine. Okay, this is your second machine, this is your third machine. Okay, if you have any questions, or if you think like which one we need to identify based on your private IP address, you can go ahead and see that one. Try to I'm just minimizing them. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so what is your first IP address? Name node by 172.31.19.134. 134. This is your name node. The second thing is your data node 1, 229. What is that 229? Your data node 1. Data node 2 is going to be the 122. Okay, this is the 122. You can see this is one. So now we are able to successfully how to connect your instances. We have learned now. So now let's go ahead and connect using your WinACP also. Okay, so we have to connect to the WinACP to do some of the things also. Let me go ahead and teach you how to connect to the WinACP. It's very simple. The same way, just go ahead and select this one and go ahead and have your public DNS here. Okay, port is going to be the same, user is going to be the Ubuntu. Okay, and go ahead and here in the advanced options you're going to see like authorization here. So here you have to select your ppk file that you have created. Okay, then go back. Okay, and save. It will be ask you to enter your this thing. Okay, here I'm going to save as a probably nn1. Okay, b19 name node. Okay, just I'm going to select OK, and then I'm going to log in. Okay, if you have selected the correct ppk only, you should be able to access this one. Okay, we are able to see your host is the left side and right side is going to be your instance. So far I did not keep anything, so that is the reason it is empty now. So let me go ahead and teach you, or let's go ahead and see how they can communicate each other. We have to make it as a cluster. Forget about the Hadoop cluster. Hadoop cluster, whenever you install your Hadoop on software on that machine, it becomes a Hadoop cluster, but we have to make it as a cluster, which means they can talk each other. Okay, so to do that one, we have to put the string actually. So far we are able to complete this step connecting to the Pootie and WinACP. Okay, so now Pootie and WinACP, we have seen very thoroughly this one. Let me go ahead and teach you how to just have this string. This is the string that you have to have actually. So what is this means here actually? What I'm trying to teach you here is, first and foremost thing, you have to build this config file, so that I'm going to tell you like this is my host, this is my host name, which means my public DNS, and this is a user, and using this one I'm going to connect to the other machine. So when, as long as you are going to have this entire file, when there is this config file in each and every file, so you can connect each other machine without any password actually. SCP, secure copy you can do without any password actually. Let's go ahead and do that one. So now, as you know, we need to modify, which means we need to make this one as per our this thing. Okay, so now first and foremost thing, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it here, and I need to change accordingly my DNS names. Very simple DNS names, very careful. Okay, I replace the DNS names. Whenever how many machines that you want, you can go ahead and have the same way here. And user is going to be the Ubuntu, and I'm going to have the name node as a name node, data node 1 and data node 2. Okay, the key, what is the key that I have here? The key that I have here is, let me go ahead and have one more time. I'm sorry. New key, authorization. The key name that I'm selecting, okay, the key name is going to be the this one, the PM file, right? Dot PM file, not yeah, both are same, right? Instead of just ppk, we had as a ppm. Okay, that's all we needed. Okay, this is what my PM file. Okay, this PM file can be understandable by who? Your instances. That is the reason I'm not using ppk. Ppk is only for our this thing. So now let me go ahead and put in our each and every SSH file that we are going to have. So now I'm going to take the first this thing. Okay, so now we have to keep in our secure SSH. This connection type is going to be the SSH. That I'm going to copy this one, and here I need to create one file. This is the authorization key, but I'm not going to use now. I'm going to create one vim config. I'm going to create one file that is called config file. That's what I've clearly mentioned here. I need to just create one file. I need to drag and drop here. I mean, this is the one which we can do that one, but before that I'm going to teach you this one. Okay, yeah, you can do either one. So now I'm going to do first win config. Okay, now let's go ahead and just put the data this one. Okay, so by this one, it's going to say that whenever you want to communicate this different host, they can communicate because this file is already exist there. Okay, now let me go ahead and put that one, but you have to have the this key in each and every SSH connection type that you are going to have in each and every instance. So for that, I know that in the WinACP, using your WinACP, I know that where is that. Let me go ahead and go into downloads, and today we have created this one, right? So I need to drag and drop into my SSH this one. So now we are able to drag and drop this one. That's what I said. Why this one? Because we have to have this .pm file in order to connect other machine actually. So we are authorizing with this machine only using this config file actually. So you have to create one config file, and you have to keep the same config file in all machines so that they can talk each other without any password actually. That's all we are trying to do here. Okay, this is the batch 19 AWS 07. Is this the correct one? Yeah, okay, that is correct one. Okay, so now before that I need to change the permissions of this one. You can see here anyone can read this one, which is not good actually. Okay, now I need to change the permissions. In order to change the permissions, sudo change mode 600 and your this thing. Let me go ahead and change that one from my name node. So you can see here, just now we dragged and dropped here and we created the config also, but let me go ahead and change the permissions. Sudo change mode, I need to have the 600 on batch 19, this one. Okay, successfully we are able to change the permissions to only the read for the user actually. Others cannot read this one. So now let me go ahead and copy the same file into all other machines. How to do this one? So now, since we know that we have already told to my machine, like since I have put everything in this config file, I told that I can go ahead and talk to my different machines. Okay, just bear with me for 10 more minutes. We'll try to complete this exercise and tomorrow we'll continue. But again, if I'm going to stop this instance, I will be charged. That is the reason I thought I can create one video and I share with you. But it's okay. Okay, just bear with me for 10-15 minutes. We will try to complete the first part and I will move on with the second part actually tomorrow. So here you can see I have the config. Within that config, I mentioned that I can talk to my data node 1 and data node 2, because I've already mentioned with this .pm file, and which is generated by my that from that instance, and I know that user ID, I know that public DNS. So simply I can go ahead and talk to them. So now in order to copy this one, so now I need to copy this config file so that I can talk from my data node 1 to this name node also. The same thing, my data node 1 to data node 2 also. From my data node 2 also, I need to talk to data node 1 and also my name node. Vice versa. All machines you have to talk each other. So when you are going to have the 1000 machines, you have to perform this step for the 1000 machines actually. First you have to create in one machine your config file, and you have to copy your .pm key, and you have to change the permissions, then do the same thing for all your machines. So now let me go ahead and copy this one. In order to copy this one, scp and your this thing from where you wanted to copy, okay, .ssh. Whenever you see this one this shift one, it is going to be your swing kind of things, right? It's going to be your home directory actually, okay, ssh. And I have the config file, and I'm going to copy to data node 1 this thing, and same thing where I need to copy in the home directory .ssh, okay, or probably you can go ahead and have this one, okay. Just go ahead and just hit enter. Okay, it is asking you to, are you sure, do you want to connect to this one? Okay, say yes. Can you see now here I am able to connect to this one? So let's go ahead and see our here .shs, and you can see you are able to see your config file. Let me go ahead and copy the same way my pm file, pom.xml pem file, okay. That is going to be the batch, right? Okay, this is what I need to copy. The same thing, if you go and see here my data node 2, I should able to see this one with the along with the permission. The same thing we have to repeat for my data node 2 also, okay. So if you go and see in the data node 2 .ssh, and you can see there is no security files, there is no config files, there is no key also. So now I need to copy the same thing here. So simply do the same thing. Instead of having the data node 1, I'm telling to data, you can see the scp command structure is your source and your data node 2, which is your host name. How did I identify this one? You can see here using your config file, you can see this is the host. Whatever I said here, using that only I'm able to connect to that machine actually. Okay, so simply instead of giving the long lengthy one here, this one I just gave simply this one. So using this one only I can go ahead and access my machine actually. So now data node 2, then I'm going to just hit enter. Okay, yes. Okay, is only, it will be asked only the first time. Then let's go ahead and have my config file. Okay, we are done now. We are able to do the secure stp with the different machines actually. So that's all we made. Now we are able to copy each other, we are able to transfer the files each other using this config file. So far we are able to complete all the way till this one. Okay, so the next thing is we are going to generate the SSH key, and we are going to do the same thing for all these machines so that they can talk each other. So we just created the cluster. If you complete that this .ssh keygen, SSH keygen here, we are able to complete this one. So all the way we tomorrow we can just start our installing your Hadoop actually. So now let me go ahead and run. So you can just go ahead and run from your this name node actually. So all you have to do from your SSH directory, ssh dash keygen dash f, which means it's going to generate one key actually. If you go and see, before I run here, if you see here, I don't have any keys here. So what I'm trying to do here, I'm going to generate one key that I'm going to append to my authorization key, then that can be copied to across all my machines, so that this it will not be asked again to enter that machine. It will not be asked to enter the password. This is called passwordless SSH connection type. Let me go ahead and hit enter. And if you are seeing this string, this diagram, this flow diagram kind of thing, you are successful generating your keygen. If you go ahead and see here, you can see you have SSH RSA private key and also the public key. Okay, so now I'm going to copy this one into my authorization key, so that you can see here SSH, you can see this is your key, and you can see the same thing RSA underscore pub also, you can see dot, right, dot pub. Okay, this is your public key actually. So this key I'm going to add to my authorization key, so that, okay, I'm going to append this key with my this authorization key, so that this is the public one and this is your individual to your machine, so that when they have this key across your all machines, they can talk each other. If you are indirectly, we are just certifying that, okay, this machine can go ahead and talk to me. Okay, that's what we are doing now. So let me go ahead and repeat the same thing here. I'm going to just add this public key whatever we just created, and I'm going to add to this one. I mean, I'm sorry, you have to run this step actually. What we are doing, we have to run first of all on this name node to add this key, whatever this key I'm going to append. Cat means I'm going to take this entire data whatever it is there in this one, and I'm going to append to this file actually. Okay, we were successful with that. Let's go ahead and do the same thing for your all your data. What you are doing, I'm going to cat this one. I'm going to take this public key whatever we generated using your SSH key gen, and I'm going to add to the data node 1 and into the authorization key. Okay, so that is going to be kind of handshaking now. Okay, now just hit enter. The same thing I have to do for my data node 2 also. Okay, we are done now. We are successfully able to just complete our first part, where we just made the cluster, not Hadoop cluster. Whenever you are going to install Java and Hadoop, you are able to do your Hadoop cluster. So now if I want to connect to my data node 1, simply SSH data node 1. Can you see now here it has connected to my data node 1. If I want to connect data node 2, data node 2, can you see first time it will be asked, then that's all, we are connected to the data node 2. Then if you go back to the data name node, SSH name node. Okay, yes, that's all. You are able to connect to the individual machines without any password. You don't require any password. We need passwordless connection type, because when you are going to start your daemons and all, your computer will connect to the different machine and it's going to start the daemons there. In that case, if you are asked to enter the password, it's not going to be the good thing actually. Okay, we cannot or will not be asked each and every time to enter the password. So that is the reason we have to enable this SSH passwordless actually. Okay, so that's all we have about the part 1. Okay, so in the part 2 we will be continuing. We are going to install first Java, then we are going to install Hadoop, then we are going to set up some of the environment variables, then we are going to do some of the your core site.xml file, your hdfs site.xml file, then we are going to start our cluster. So probably if everything is going fine, tomorrow we should able to complete this operation. If not, we will see that one, that what is the next step. So with this one we should able to complete our AWS tomorrow. Okay, let's go ahead and meet tomorrow. Let's hope for the best actually. Okay, thank you so much for staying somewhat late, almost 10 minutes. Okay, any questions before we wind up today's class? Okay, then if you don't have any questions, thank you so much for your time and talk to you tomorrow. Bye.